the Grown Up Group. This is a podcast of regular people tackling the world from a Black perspective. We hope you guys missed us because we missed you and we missed each other as well. So I'm here with my girl Kira, Jazz, and Joe, and of course I'm Ty. Hey everybody, welcome
Hey,
back.
hey,
Right, crew. I'm like, hello.
I know.
So, right,
I said we've been on a hiatus.
yeah. We've been doing segments of videos here and there, but you've been seeing us one by one. But now we head back together. The summer has sat us down, and now fall has welcomed us indoors where it's warm. So,
Mhm.
we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about a couple of things that's going on in our society and our community. We wanted to start off with the Georgia shootings in the schools. It's devastating that this continues to happen. I don't think we've gone a school year without a shooting. It's kind of really sad. It's really discouraging for our youth. And I don't even
Yeah.
know how we can encourage our youth to continue to go to school in a system that can't protect them. So I kind of wanted to delve into that. What do you guys think about the recent school shooting?
It was a straight up failure on the part of that school district. I mean,
Terrible.
looking at it from the beginnings of it, we're talking about a kid who was already flagged, who was already, made aware to law enforcement that, hey, he's made threats against the school, he's made threats on social media, he's made threats against specific people. And, the best thing law enforcement could say, well, he said he didn't do it. He said his social media account was hacked, so he couldn't do anything. Then his father, after all of this, his father turns around and buys him an assault rifle for a birthday present.
Unbelievable.
I,
That's
I
I, I
mean,
mean,
I
That's
mean, like,
insane for me. I was like, lock him up. The parent is should be
yep.
100%
Mm-hmm.
responsible for
yeah,
their
right,
Mm-hmm.
oh man,
I
right.
mean, it was brought to your
recklessness.
attention that
Yeah.
he made these threats, and you turn around and say, "Oh, okay, thanks for telling me. Hey, son, here's an AR-15."
Right. So many of these shootings happening, and then when you find out the parent brought the child a freaking gun for their birthday,
Hmm.
why?
Like,
Why are you buying a
this
teenager a
is
gun
the
for their birthday?
second time. The second
It,
time,
Yes.
like
okay,
that, these parents are going out buying these kids
buying
guns
these
for their
kids
birthday.
weapons. Yep.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, thank God they're in
exactly.
prison. Those two parents are in
Right.
prison now for
Yeah.
at least 10
Hmm.
years. But I mean, what is it going to take for you to understand? Like, come on, you listen and look. I'm all about the Second Amendment. I'm all
Right.
about everybody's right to bear arms.
Right.
I'm
Right.
all
Right.
for it. I have several firearms legally, so
Hmm.
I'm all
Right.
for it. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to give one to my 16-year-old son.
Right.
And not an
I'm not going to give
AK-47.
one. Yeah, I'm not going to give one to my 14-year-old daughter. You know what I mean? Where are we as parents that we feel our children are responsible enough to handle deadly weapons at 17, 16 years old?
You said that, and immediately I went to emotional and mental stability, right? Because we've had the
Mm-hmm.
segments where we talked about mental health and how important it is. But when you're a teenager and you're going through this world and you see the things that you're not getting your way and things that's not being afforded to you and things that's not happening, kids hiking on each other, making jokes, and immediately some people could take that very personal and be like, hold it
Right.
Mm-hmm.
close to their chest. And some people could let it go and know how to laugh at it and keep going and no further thoughts about it. But those individuals that can't let it go or feel that it's a personal attack against them and their character and who they are as beings, immediately, what is that retaliation? Are they mature enough or smart enough to know that this is just in a moment of time? And I'm gonna speak it and I'm gonna be very honest. Those kids that joke and make fun of you and hike and laugh and stuff like that, that may be their peak of their high school years. You know what I mean? That may be
And
the
that's
cap
it.
for them.
Yeah,
That may be the cap for
absolutely.
them, but
Right.
that's the reality of it, right? But then when you grow up and you find out you mature, you come into your own and you got your own glow up, and you feel that these little minor incidents when you were a youth was so beneath you. They was just
Mm-hmm.
a fragment or just a moment in time. Like we're speaking, collectively as, plus adults, we're in adulthood where we're like maneuvering. This is not the worst of what can happen in your life.
It's not.
You
It's
now
not.
Absolutely.
sacrifice your livelihood
Mm-hmm.
and your
Right.
years to grow and develop just for one moment or one incident. And everybody said this kid was likable. So that was really what was hard for me because they
Right.
said he was such a likable kid. Everybody got along with him. He really didn't have the bully mentality and the things that happened to him. But the kids in the incidents where they did, it made me think about their mental and emotional stability. And I said, well, what has come from that? When do we, as adults and parents, check our kids in and say, you know what, they need mental health? They need to
Exactly.
be in front of a
Yeah.
therapist. They need to be in front of psychiatrists. They
Denial.
need some
Exactly.
help. They need the school
Yeah.
guidance counselor. When as adults do we see that in our children and not answer that? And is a failure on the parents, not only for
It
buying
is.
guns,
Oh,
but failing them in their mental and emotional stability and state. They needed to look at that first before that. As first soon as I get a call from a guidance counselor, let alone the police, and tell me my child did XYZ, we're going to the doctor tomorrow. We need
Yeah,
to
it
get
has
figure
to
out
be
what's
dealt
going
with.
on.
It needs to be dealt with
Right.
ASAP.
Something's wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because
and they
that's
didn't
what
answer
these.
that
It's
right.
so,
Yeah,
I would be
it's so
scared.
many
their
parents
fault.
right. It's so many parents in denial about your child instead of getting them the proper help that they need. You will never
Exactly.
know that they need that help unless you go take them to get it. And also, even me, I didn't know that my child was going through problems until she told me, like, Mom, you don't understand what's going on with me, because I don't understand what's going on with me. And we was right there at the doctor or whatever.
Exactly.
I can't be in denial and then my child go to school or go out into public and hurt someone real bad. And we have a
Right.
situation like this and I'm getting blamed.
Yep.
Or I will blame myself because
Mhm.
I
That's
saw it
that's what parents
and I
naturally
didn't
do.
do
Like,
anything.
Sure.
it was something you overlooked. Let me tell you, it's two things, right?
Right.
That really disturbed me. Actually, it was three. The aunt, I don't know if I heard about it from the aunt. Then it was the mother. If nobody else in this world is gonna hold you accountable for certain things, it's your mother or your safety or your well-being or you
Right.
being a danger to somebody else. She called that school. She called the school and told them what was gonna happen. And whoever answered that phone dropped the ball. Because what in your body, your mind said, whatever, click. Anyway, girl.
Right.
And then you notice that where this stuff is happening. I don't know the setup of the school. I know what area school was in, but do you know that that does not happen in urban communities? We have metal detectors as if we are mass murderers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Yep.
we can't even have a rat tail comb in school.
Yeah,
Nope.
absolutely.
We didn't have anything. We had they
Yep.
would take us through the metal detector and they put that wand over us like we was inside of a prison.
Yeah.
But you go out to the
Mhm.
suburban areas where all the shootings happen,
Mm.
then what?
Right.
They don't
It's
have
like
all
know,
these
what
things in
y'all not
place.
seeing? What y'all not
Right.
seeing when that needs to be done?
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Like
every
that
school
that's
they're being
exactly-
reactive instead of
That's what I
proactive.
was going to lead to. That's exactly that reactiveness. Instead of being proactive, they being reactive. And that's what I was going to lead to. How do we keep our kids safe from these incidents? And then you said it. You hit the nail right there on the head. Why in the urban communities we see these, metal detectors go up so quickly, like we're criminals immediately.
Oh, for decades. For decades.
Our children are perceived as criminals. But if you go to the, suburban areas, the other areas, you don't see that as often. And I'm like, they need it more
More than we need it.
than we need it. And, they're targeting not only just, I wish I could say like, is a specific demographic that they're going for or, community that they're going for. They're going for their own. They don't care. Everybody could get it. And that's the sad part to me. It's not even just, oh, well, you know what? This is going to be my target today. It's everybody's at target. And they're going for teachers, principals, guidance counselors, students,
Janitors,
everybody's
anybody.
And I don't understand why they won't put those things in place in the suburban areas with the exception of one reason. Image. The image.
Yeah.
What
Of
does
course,
it look
the
like
image.
if I got to
They
put
don't want
metal
it to look
detectors in
like-
our white schools?
They don't want that look. They don't want that look. They don't want. God,
And let me tell you-
we're not some inner city school. We don't need
And let me
metal
tell you,
detectors.
a parent
Right.
of one of them schools will have a field day. If they put up a metal detector in that school, oh my God, these children, they have a whole field day. Never mind what's going on in the school and what's going on mentally with these kids. Never mind none of that
course.
stuff. And what's
It's the
happening
parents
time
that
and
are fighting
time and time again. You about
Yeah.
image, how it's going to look. Like, ma'am,
Right.
these kids are dying at a rate of a speed that I cannot even comprehend.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
few
Right.
months is something going on. What
It's-
part you not seeing, ma'am? Or
Yeah.
sir?
It's the
Right.
They
parents.
go
It's the
to these meetings
community.
and fight about this and
Yeah.
that. They are not at these meetings telling, listen, I could not be a parent on these school. My kids want to go to none of school. I would send my kid to a hood school in an urban community so fast because I know they're gonna be safe there. Sorry to say.
Yeah.
We safe on each other. We
is
safe
what
on
it
each other.
is.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look
I
at the
worked at a
tax
school
dollars,
last
the
year.
tax dollars are being spent in the wrong places to me. Their
Yep.
tax dollars are being spent so wrong where you need that security, you need that metal detector, you need that guard that's standing at the door, beep, beep, beeping you over,
Yep.
simply because
Right.
you're running the risk of now your child going into a school where you're perceived as safe, but the reality of
Yeah.
it is not safe. The rapid
No.
growth The rapid
Remember the
growth
other, I'm gonna cut you off.
is
Remember
crazy.
the other shooting that happened, and the boy went to a elementary school. He
Mhm.
was in high school.
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
was in elementary school to kill kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you want to lie
Yep.
these, like, make what?
And
What?
the reason why that kid
Mhm.
went to the elementary school, because it didn't have the protections in place that the middle and high school did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's exactly why he went to the elementary school,
Yeah.
because he knew he could get in and do that. I worked at a school in Cherry Hill year before last as an SRO, as a
Mhm.
school resource officer. And it was at an alternative high school. So basically, all of the kids that got kicked out of their district high schools had to come to this school. I don't know what I was thinking about taking that job. Anyway,
I was gonna say
but
that's a risk, Joe.
I don't know. You know what it was? Because it was like, oh, there's only like what 75 kids in this school. Oh, that's easy, man. I was so
Yeah.
wrong. But at any rate, and every
All the
morning my
rejects.
job, yeah, you know, they had metal detectors, and every morning my job was when the kids came to that metal detector, I had to wind. I was winding people down. You weren't allowed to bring your cell phone into school. You weren't allowed to carry a backpack into school.
Mhm.
You know, so we had all these things in place. So we would have parents that would come to tour the school with the kids, and all of the parents would always say, are the metal detectors necessary? Like every
Ma'am.
parent had an issue with that.
Mhm.
And my thing is, listen, why your kid is coming here is because he couldn't handle being at his district high school.
Right. Right.
So imagine your kid times 75.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you should want this.
Right.
Right.
Right. You should.
Yeah. And I had to take blades off kids. I had to take vapes off kids. Thank God I didn't come across any guns, but at the same time, I'm like, why would you want to fight this? Why would you have an
Exactly.
issue with
Let
this?
me tell you about what they're doing though, because like I said, in urban areas they don't do that, right? So what they're doing now, what some of the kids doing, they can't bring weapons in at all. I know some kids who get weapons in quickly, like with no problem. But what they're
Oh
doing
yeah.
is they're having they're putting mace in bottles now, or putting
Okay.
perfume. So they're doing all kind of crazy stuff to do that. Like that's in the
Mhm.
urban area. That's what you have to be concerned with. Like, okay, they got mace inside here, blah blah. A knife, they probably gonna catch the knife, or whatever. But mace, you're not gonna have them kids coming there with no AK-47.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not even
Exactly.
like people. They know it's not to even try. It's not even on their mind. They're like, yo, why would I want to come here and hurt some kids? Like, if I'm being bullied, we gonna squab it out outside after school. We gonna
Yeah, and
fight.
see, and in urban areas, what you'll find is that even if kids do have a problem with somebody, they have a specific person they got a problem with.
That.
You know
Right.
what I mean? And they're like, I'm not gonna come. I don't need to shoot up Bobby, Joe, April, and so and so. I got a problem with Mike. That's what I'm going to deal
Right.
with.
I'm
Come
gonna
on
go deal
outside,
with
What
Mike.
Mike,
happens in
right?
urban schools?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yes.
I'm what Mike ass.
Right.
Fuck everybody else. I'm gonna beat
Right.
down Mike. That's what my issues with.
Right.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yes.
And when you get to a lot of these, and I noticed this, especially with suburban schools, I'm like, not for nothing. I'm like, these kids are soft.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. These
Soft
kids nowadays,
parenting left to soft
especially,
kids.
and that's what
Right.
it is.
Yep.
Right.
That's what it is.
I know.
And like I remember some years back, my daughter, she's in college now, but when she was in, I want to say sixth, seventh grade, you know, my daughters have been since they were both 5 years old. I had one daughter that was in Muay Thai, and I had one daughter that's in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since they could walk.
Mm.
So long story short, a kid came to my daughter's lunch table and tried to like elbow her out the way, and my daughter put it in a rear naked choke and body slammed her.
That's
So
it. That's it.
Great job,
we get
baby.
called in.
For real.
We get called in, and the principal's like, we think the force your daughter used was a bit excessive, blah blah blah, this and that. And I just said, listen, if you want to suspend my daughter, suspend her. I just got to find out what movie she want to go see that day.
And that's it.
Exactly.
You know,
And she
said
getting
the same
rewarded
what,
with
ma'am?
ice cream, okay? We gonna
Yeah.
You said
roll
it,
out
said it the same what,
Yeah.
ma'am?
yeah,
Absolutely.
and the principal looked at me like, we don't think it's I said, let me explain something to you. This is why you'll never have to worry about my kid coming in this building and shooting anybody up when somebody pisses her
So
off
they can use them hands.
because of what she did today.
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I told him, I said, if more kids would take that approach instead of internalizing, this kid's picking with me,
Yeah.
this kid's talking about my clothes, that kid's talking about my hair, that kid's talking about where I live, and all of that builds up. And what happens? It explodes, and everybody gets hurt.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I had so many parents come to me and say, hey, because again, I live in a small town, so something like that happens is big news. So I had
Yes.
parents come to me on Facebook and everything. Hey, where do you send your daughter? What
Yep,
school does
they
she?
want to know.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Yep.
and I think and that's where part of the problem stems from. These kids, they don't know how to accept. Like, think about when we were kids, we got hyped on.
I
Yeah.
promise you.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was done. You know, you want to talk about my clothes? I'm gonna talk about your mama, and it was done.
Right. Your mother.
Big
Right.
game. All fair and love and
Right.
war.
Right.
Ain't nobody get mad. Nobody, and you hardly no fights even came from that. It's just
Not
was
really,
what
nope.
it was.
Yep.
And I think that's part of the issue right there is that these kids are let, you know, they're told that, you know, if someone talks about your shoes, it's bullying. It's not right. No,
It's
somebody talk about your
harassment and
shoes.
intimidation.
We made them too aware.
Please.
I want to say that we made them too aware of the unnecessary things, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's so crazy. I feel I am in 1000% in agreement with your statement, Joe, because the sensitivity in this world, oh my God. But
It's
My
like on
feelings.
100.
children, it's like, you know, oh, they said something, oh, they bumped me, and I'm like, bump them back. Like, what?
Bump
What
them
do you
back.
mean? Like,
Let
what,
me-
what are you saying? They're just gonna let them walk up?
Right.
Oh no, you shouldn't put, you shouldn't. I'm like, you shouldn't. Absolutely, do
Uh-uh.
unto others as they do to you. Do to you. That's the
Exactly.
number one thing that I learned in the Bible. Do unto others what they do to you.
As they
Because
do.
I swear,
Hello.
ain't no way in the world somebody bump me and I'm not gonna bump back. I'm not.
Let me tell
Bump
you.
them back.
Made them too
Let-
soft.
Let me tell you, right?
Right.
So my daughter, I don't know if people know my daughters, they are not the ones or the two. Like they will be in the street and squat. Somebody got video of my kids on, like, yeah, kicking ass. My daughters. Because ain't nobody can protect them. Like they got my fathers, my brother to protect them, but their brother got special needs. So they know it's like I gotta defend myself.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was an incident at school, and this guy was waiting. This guy had to be like 6'3". My daughter like 5 something, whatever it is. He's a big guy, and he's about 200 some pounds. I don't know what transpired between them two.
Mhm.
And he tried to throw his weight around like he was so tough and being loud with people. My daughter, like, he just irritates me so bad, just be doing stuff to people. It's like, so one day I don't know what happened. Oh, it was a cafeteria. He pushed a chair into her. So she's like, what the fuck was that for? Like, bro, like you pushed a chair to me. Like, I don't give a fuck. He went off on her. She's like, bro, like, go ahead, go about your business. You're a dude. He want to go back and forth with her. So she like, okay, like you saying that to say what? Because you a dude. Next thing I know, I got a phone call from school.
And that's another thing.
And my father,
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
said, Miss Bell, you have to come into a meeting. Something happened. Come to find out that very chair went across his head.
Good.
That sounds
And
about
that's
right.
and that's another thing.
Let me
Why
tell
is
you,
it
for
that
real,
young
I'm
men
mad
are
because
so
my daughters
comfortable?
know I don't like violence. So what happened? She said, Mommy, I told you about the boy, He must have thought because, and she said he was calling her all kind of bitches and all kind of stuff. She like, I thought he was cool. Like, what's the problem? Whatever transpired, he tried to throw his weight around, and she took that very chair that he pushed into her and put it straight across his head.
As she should have.
So what he did was he went to the office and was like, "Oh no, I don't want to have a meeting with her parent because somebody told her about who I was." I don't know who told.
They heard
They was
about
in
you
ninth
around these
grade.
parts.
I don't know who
I
told
heard
what.
about you.
No, they know. The security guard like that. He said, "Don't call her mother. We gonna handle it. Don't call her mother." So I don't know what happened. I thought the caller was like, "Oh, whatever." I said, they heard me screaming through the phone. Oh, Miss Bell, we have everything resolved. The boy went and apologized to my daughter because I was at the school. What's up? What's up, young man? I'm outside. Me and my other daughter's outside waiting on you, sir. You think you
Yeah.
about to get that off? We about to clobber you, young man.
Yeah.
And my father was like, he was yelling like, so the mother could put his hands on her and you gotta go into a meeting or I'll be there. Next thing I know, I have to have no meeting. I have to do nothing.
That
Good.
sounds
Yeah, don't
about
play
right.
my kids. It's stuff like that. It ain't gonna be too much. Oh, okay, what's up? It's stuff like that. We could squabble it out. It could be what it is. They're not gonna come into my daughter ain't gonna come pick up a freaking weapon and come back to the school. Oh, she might
Right.
would. But when like that, a freaking assault rifle, because I got some stories too. But anyway, assault rifle, it goes to the school up. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
It's being discouraged, right? And that's
like,
and they
I
want to
hate
discourage kids from that. If someone hits you, go run and find a teacher and tell them. No, somebody slap you, you punch them.
Right.
Exactly.
No, they're gonna find a teacher. The teacher gonna hear about it after they get off the floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
The teacher will
What's
know.
up?
And that's why
Yeah.
I said,
And
like,
that's
my daughter
it.
did that right in front of everybody, in front of the principal, vice principal, and the vice principal, both in the
Exactly.
cafeteria.
Yeah.
Like,
She didn't get up. She
please.
said there was a teacher 2 feet away from her. She didn't get up and run to the teacher. She got up, She
handle
grabbed the girl's forearm,
handle
put her in
business.
that choke, and slammed her right on her front. Damn.
And
Right.
there's that.
That's
And
true.
then she said she got up and she just stood back, put her hands up and
Like, look,
stood
listen,
back.
listen. I did what I had to do. It ain't me. I saw what happened.
I do want to thank you guys because I think that was a great discussion as we was talking about, what can we do to keep our children safe in these schools. I think we touched on a lot of great things. We talked about that gentleman and his ladylike behavior in another segment because that's called something else. Because hello, I want to say guys nowadays have been raising a little bit soft, but I just wanted to thank you guys for that because we do have to keep our children safe. We do have to make sure that our children are targets. What they did in the urban schools 10 years ago, they should have enforced that in the suburban schools, and we wouldn't be hearing this on the news. So it would be a done subject if they put the safety in place that they need to put in place. I want to touch quickly on the elections. So I want to talk about Trump and Kamala. What are you guys feeling? I just want to go around. Kira, thoughts, please.
It's a freaking circus. I don't know. It got my head spinning, and I'm just like, these two right here is a whole ish show. It's a whole ish show going on.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is a shit show. But at the end of the day, I think what needs to be had, like the debate coming up Tuesday, I think everybody really needs to tune in and watch that because when you got the sound bites and the commercials and everything, you're hearing one side. But I think it really needs to be squared in on at the debate. I want to see them focusing on the economy, illegal immigration, middle class treatment by both parties. Because I'm going to be totally honest and candid about this. I think for the last 4 years, the people, this administration had screwed us all over royally. And if anyone can sit up here and say that they have not been ill affected in the last 4 years by this economy, then your ass is either sitting home, not working, and not paying for a damn thing.
Yes.
Okay. Because we got a lot of things. Because I'll be, and I tell people in a heartbeat, listen, I was in much better shape 8 years ago than I am today financially.
Than I am now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is what it is. I miss paying $2.60 for gas versus $3.20.
Yeah.
Okay. I miss walking in the supermarket with $100 and coming out with 2 bags of groceries versus going in 150 coming out with one bag that's not even full.
An arm full of food, an arm.
And I ain't even bought no meat.
Right.
Ain't even no meats included, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, so I think everybody needs to focus in on this, on the debate coming up on Tuesday and really sit down and listen to whatever candidate that you feel I think we all need to listen to what they both have to say and how they're going to fix what's going on now, because this is ridiculous.
Right. Chaz, thoughts on the election, just real quick. Can I get your thoughts on it?
Like I said, it's a circus, and we all know the fucking clown is the ringmaster. We already know. Here we got the armors here. We already know he's a clown. Anyway, so that's my shit show. Circus ringmaster, like.
Yeah. So I'm with Joe. I can't wait to hear the real talk, the real bullet points that need to be addressed. Economy, huge. Inflation, huge. What are they going to do to turn this around? What are they going to do so that we're not affected financially? You talk about groceries. I'm talking about just living. I'm talking about, room and board living. I'm talking about roofs over our head, rent, mortgages. The inflation on those costs alone, it's like, you can't breathe or leave your home. Just leave your house. Immediately, $100 a day spent on something so simple as breakfast, lunch, dinner, water. I just want to hear the true discussions about what they're going to do to turn this economy around. I want to hear what they're going to do to improve some of the school systems that they have. The schooling system right now, we have children that came from a pandemic that lost 2 years of vital information and education. And the kids don't even want to go to school now. The school attendance is through the floor. How do you want, and then with the violence in schools, how do you encourage your children to continue their education?
Mentally, they messed up.
It's a shit show on so many different levels. So I want to hear them discuss education. I want to hear them talk about inflation. I want to hear them talk about the economic situation. I want to hear them talk about all of those things and from a serious standpoint. I don't want to see the finger pointing and this person did this and the immigration. And I don't want to hear none of that catty
Exactly.
shit.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
want to hear them address real topics that's affecting us in the community. There's so many things that go on that's in our society that's becoming norm that needs to be not the norm. I want to hear them
Right.
address education. I want to hear them address the economy. I want to hear them talk about inflation and the housing market and what they need to do to change those things. I'm sorry to pick up where I left off, guys, but that's exactly what I'm waiting for Tuesday to hear how they
Yeah.
come in hot with those topics, especially because this is Kamala's like first real conversation with us in the community. And I don't want to see her just representing Black people because they swear as soon as they get somebody of color in there, they're like, oh, they just looking for benefits for them. And I'm like, I don't care about that.
Please.
I
I'm so
want to
sick
see
of
what they
identity
do to affect
politics.
the world and
Yeah,
how we're
I'm
going
so
to be
sick
able
of
to tell the
identity
truth here.
politics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm tired of that. I'm tired
Yeah.
of saying, oh, I can't wait to see what she do for us. What us? What do you mean
for
do
us.
for us?
Yes, yes. All of
It's-
And
us.
then
it's
when
I'm
not
once
talking
they
about
do
all
it
of us
for us,
collectively.
then we're
'Cause
never
all
nobody's ever
suffering.
satisfied.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
suffering collectively. Thank you guys so much for your thoughts and views. Thank you for joining the grown-up group discussion. I am grateful for you guys to have us back in your world. Click play, please. I'm not going to tell you like, share, and subscribe because I don't want to tell y'all what to do, but I highly recommend it. How about that one? Thank you
Right.
guys for joining us. I'm Ganna with Kira, Joe,
Bye.
Jazz, and I'm Ty. Thank you so much.